Cool. My last question is for João Amorim, the director of this film. João put out a truly heroic, amazing effort with, I would say, a lot of personal sacrifice, maybe wasn't necessary, in order to bring it into being. And so João, I'm curious, because you'd worked in advertising and you'd done commercials for cars and so on. What led you to kind of, you want to use those skills that you developed for this other purpose, for this different message? And what did you learn by doing it?
Thank you, Daniel. I had always been a fan of Buckminster Fuller. I come from a left-wing family in Brazil. We were in political exile. So I had those things in the back of my mind, but I hadn't figured out a way of actually, putting my work, the animation, and all the skills that I had acquired for this greater purpose. So in 2006, I was animation director for a film called Chicago 10, which is an animated documentary on the Chicago 7. So it talks about the whole movement in 1968 and how, Abby Hoffman and Bobby Seale and, Allen Ginsberg and all these people, how they took a stance and, fought the system. And that actually, I was animation director, so I was a different director, but that showed me that I could use those skills for a greater purpose. And right around that time, I was actually reading, somebody convinced me to pick up Daniel's book, which I was very skeptic about it at first. I was like, oh, that's new age mumbo jumbo, I don't know if but eventually they convinced me to read it, and I was very moved and identified with a lot of the themes in it. And I think the main thing that I identified was that, coming from a left-wing background, I always had this kind of socialist view, and it all fell apart in the 1990s. And what Daniel's book talked about that really resonated with me was this necessity of reconnecting to a higher consciousness, to some sort of spirituality, which I think a lot of the social movements had somehow neglected. So that's kind of how I got inspired, and then I connected Daniel, and we went around the world talking to all these amazing people. It was an extremely it was a great learning process for me, meeting all these people, being able to ask them questions and spend time with them. And the fruit of it is this film that we're premiering here, and hopefully you guys can come see tonight, or get the DVD or so forth. So with that, I just want to actually open it up for discussion. Do you want to say something else? Yeah.
Yeah, so if anybody has a question for us, I guess we have a mic up here, which we can lend to you.
Right here.
Oh, we have one right here. One right here. And the film is tonight and tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at a Landmark Lumiere Theater, 1572 California. We have a very limited edition of the DVDs available for sale here. Hopefully we'll find a major distributor or a larger distributor at some point. At the moment we're doing it ourselves, so we really appreciate your support for the project.
Do we have a volunteer that wants to run around with this mic out there?
Can you?
Okay, just come here.
I just don't want to short you on volunteers.
No, I know. Where's Shannon? Shoot, that lady in white there?
In white, got it. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
The movie is at 7 with a half-hour panel at 8:30 after the movie.
How can we invite all of you to the Motor City for the U.S. Social Forum, which is June 22nd to 26th, 20,000 activists, World Social Forum Porto Alegre, which I attended. And now all of you are welcome, end of June, to the U.S. Social Forum. Can we get a showing of the movie in Detroit for that?
Yes.
Absolutely, we would love to do that. We would love to do that. You should connect with, come by our booth and connect with our booth. We have another type of question. Anybody want to talk about ayahuasca, shamanism,
permaculture?
What do you got? Okay, good.
Good afternoon. For some reason, I was expecting a panel discussion, and it's perfectly all right that I haven't experienced that yet.
I'm going to hold that mic here.
I have a question for Barbara Max Hubbard. I had the pleasure of hearing your presentation with Connection on Thursday night, and I heard you mention, many profound thoughts and actions and possibilities. And I was wondering if you could speak a little bit more on alternative currencies, because that came up several times, and how can we and how are we moving towards alternative currencies? Okay, alternative currencies. I just want to say one word preceding that about what I think is the defining moment. I think we are really at the founding of a great new movement, which I'm calling the evolutionary potential movement. We've had the human potential, the civil rights, the green movements, and the peace movements, and all of them and more are contributing to an evolutionary awareness without which I don't think you can fully understand the crisis or opportunities. And when we place ourselves in our current moment of crisis in a 14 billion year continuum in which nature has been facing crisis for innovation and transformation and higher consciousness and greater freedom, we can start to get the guidelines and clues as to how to use alternative currencies, alternative energies, alternative consciousness, not only to fix the situation, but to take, I mean, I feel we're on a people mover when we say yes to this.
Do you want to mention what our roots are in the film?
Itself. That for billions of years it seems to be aiming at higher consciousness and greater freedom, and we are part of its aim. And I feel that...
And maybe even offer to Tiokasin if he wants to talk about Native American exchange systems. Sure.
Is to place it in the context of nature's /spirit's evolutionary potential for higher consciousness, greater freedom, more abundance created out of your synergy.
No, I know. Just
so if you place alternative currency in that context, you don't see we're just adjusting the monetary system, which we must. First of all, you see the monetary system is designed for scarcity. It is a debt system that is creating greater and greater wealth concentration and more poverty. The alternative currencies have been growing over the last decades, and we have, I think, 5,000 of them now. It may well be that the monetary crises and the financial crises, as well as the inability to
this guy just walked in with the red jacket over there. And I'll tell you about him later.
Is going to force us in the next 10 years as internet grew to create the global brain. I think alternative currencies will connect us so we can liberate the creativity of humanity.
From Democracy Now.
And it is a natural phenomenon that has to be done. I don't have the expertise to talk to you about which one of these currencies, but I do want to say I have one of my friends is Jean-François Nouvel, and he has the transitioner.org network, and he tells me that he believes by 2010 he and others working with him will have a code that anybody can use to create a currency anywhere in the world, and that it will be a defining moment for our conscious evolution. So I'm all for it, and I would like to say if you can put alternative currencies with social synergy, whereby all the people in this room, this hall, and all around the world who want to create
I know you started like
were to be connected with each other using alternative currency to help the creativity at this level, we really in 5 years could have a liberation of creativity the like of which we've never seen. We've got the tools, and the movement is just growing, and I thank goodness to be alive at this greatest moment. Thank you.